All the combines are fitted with stereo radios, and for those canny enough to have brought their own MP3 players, they can listen to their own choice of music through the combine speakers. It sounds pretty good, and you can really crank it up. Which is fine with the Boss, as long as it's not louder than the field radios. Because when the Boss calls you, you'd better be listening. For most of the Brits and Irish, the music of choice is heavy rock. For James, it's Enya. Blimey, rock on, James. The Americans conform to type by listening to country music. So they don't really need an MP3 player because the local radio stations play almost nothing but. Jim has just about given up on the local radio stations. You hardly ever listen to the radio, do you?
No, very seldom. Odd times I listen to the radio. Mind you, we don't have a fantastic selection of stations out here. Shania Twain gets a bit long in the tooth when you're listening to her for about 6 or 8 weeks.
Shania Twain.
Yeah. Rough stuff, I can tell you.
At this stage of the game, both teams are getting in some extremely long days, and the Fredericks have been able to get going soon after sunup. But all that was about to change. The men had got used to the early morning cloud burning off to leave a clear blue sky, and by midday the men had clocked up 4 or more hours of combine time. But the prairie weather can always come up with the odd surprise. About 1 o'clock, the wind started blowing hot and hard. And then, by the middle of the afternoon, the radio stations had started to predict a rough evening ahead.
That develop to quickly become severe. Supercells are possible, which may be accompanied by isolated tornadoes, baseball-sized hail and winds to 75 miles an hour.
Everyone turned off their MP3 players and tuned in to the local official weather warnings. As the afternoon progressed, the thunderheads started to build.
Tornado potential will continue during the evening, primarily.
Tell me what sort of mindset you need to be a successful prairie farmer.
A good gambler would make an excellent prairie farmer, yes. We have Mother Nature to deal with every year. This year we almost didn't get this wheat crop sowed. It was just, we had 18 inches of rain in the months of October and November. And it's something every year. Our summer temperatures are about, it's not unusual to get to 105, even 110. In the winter we'll get down to 0. We don't normally have very much snow, 8 or 10 inches of snow a year, but
It gets interesting. I mean, but it is challenging, and that's what makes it where we just keep wanting to do it more. I don't know, but every year is different. I mean, we've never had 2 years the same. My dad will tell you the same thing. He's 82 years old. There's never been 2 years the same. So it keeps you on your toes, and it's frustrating sometimes when you make a crop and then you lose it to a hailstorm. But we know that's part of it, and we just deal with it the best we can.
every year is different, I promise you that.
Well, that's a strange thing. The weather around here, if you don't like it one minute, just hang around, it'll change.
Do you appreciate your skies?
Probably not. After talking to you, you pointed out how pretty they are, and sometimes we don't think it looks that gorgeous, I guess, when it's that threatening. But
And as the sun went down, the sky started to do some pretty strange things. the boss tells the men over the radio to keep going until the rain actually starts. Because on the prairies, the thunder and lightning can arrive well ahead of the rain. And there are times when the Midwest is hit by dry storms, all drama and no delivery. At some times in the evening, the lightning could be seen on all points of the compass as supercells formed and died around us. 11 p.m. and still no rain. And the men were beginning to think that it was never going to hit. Then the first few spots arrived, and it became a dash to empty the grain tanks and get the heck out of the field and back to the blacktop before the dirt roads were reduced to a slippery mush. Then the heavens opened, and still there was enough lightning activity to see the road ahead. The storm lasted less than half an hour. But the boss has a new problem. Fortunately, all the grain trucks got out of the field okay, but a pickup of combine drivers got stuck in a ditch. Much to the delight of the truckers, who were sent back in with the farmer's tractor to rescue them. One good thing about the rain though, the men know that tomorrow they'll be getting a bit of a lie-in.